and then these BLM terrorists come and just burn your business down. So you get both. You get a brunt by both sides. You get the brunt from the government locking you down for coronavirus, and then you have these terrorists that are allowed to run amok. But something that I wanted to address was specifically the doxing. Obviously, our veterans are probably the most important American citizens that we have. Their selfless sacrifice can be seen every day. Like the benefits of their selfless sacrifice can be seen every day just by looking at these protests. But it bothers me immensely that just because we disagree, you want to destroy somebody's life outside of that. And it's called cancel culture. So what they're doing is they took pictures of everybody that attended, including these veterans, right? And they're trying to put their faces out. There's something violent about that. When you put somebody's face out, because you're hoping you don't have what it takes to do it yourself. To be the activists that they say they are. They want somebody else to do something about it. So they put your face, Ozzy. They put your face on the Twitter feed, and what they do is they try to get you fired. They try to make you a drag of society. And that's wrong. I think that we could agree to disagree many times, or just simply disagree. We don't have to agree to disagree, but you don't have to try to destroy somebody's life. We're playing on their I'm going to be honest here. We're playing on their battlefield. If we continue to just be the bigger person and be like, okay, well, they can do that, we're going to lose. We need to be able to fight back. We need to be able to fight these people back. And I'm not saying physically or anything like that. And I'm not calling you guys to go do something about it like they're doing. But we need to be able to fight back. They're trying to erase history. They're trying to silence us. I go as far as to say that they want us dead, because the first step is silencing us on social media. The second step is trying to get you fired.
They've called for that. They've called for that, and I hear you what you're saying. But our side is God fearing, and we are believers in the big man, and our faith does not allow us to go ahead and do things that just go against our beliefs, our religious beliefs. On a bigger picture, due to the fact that you're the state director for the state of Florida for Latinos for Trump, tell us how the Latino population is reacting to the mainstream media narrative that is this whole toilet vision mentality and this whole Telemundo mentality of just annihilating the president's beliefs and the president's initiatives 24/7, and pretty much brainwashing the public, the general Latino population public on a daily basis. Tell us a little bit about that and what you think.
Well, that's a disservice to the people, to the American people, because obviously there's very few outlets that are Spanish-speaking only outlets, right? You got Telemundo, you got Univision. So to people that don't speak English, that have to depend on Univision and Telemundo for their news to update them, and for them to, both of them to have a bias, an extreme left bias, is a disservice to nearly everybody. I see it in my own household. I see it. My grandfather was a Ted Cruz guy, and when Trump won the nomination, he didn't like Trump because the scary magic light bots in front of him told him not to like him, and that was Univision, specifically
Toilet Vision.
Specifically, George Ramos went ahead and bashes the president all the time. Yeah, the president saved his butt when he got captured pretty much in Venezuela. But after a while, I do see an awakening, because after a while, even my grandfather was like, man, it's all negative stories. There has to be something more to this. And even my grandfather, which really doesn't use the internet, was able to see through that. A lot of people are saying, oh, because of this coronavirus, how the president handled the coronavirus, or how the president's handling these rioters, he's going to lose in 2020. And they put up all these statistics in these polls. I think it's a very simple equation. People don't like rioters, right? People don't like watching their businesses or other people's businesses getting torn down or burnt down. And the American people see that. I think that's the most disgusting out of everything. Like you could probably be like, oh well, I want the lockdown and coronavirus to save lives or whatever. But when people burn down buildings and destroy, like, people that have nothing to do with it, you don't know what their political lean is. And they see the president is strongly against these rioters and these purveyors of violence. I think that you get to see you get to see what America is about, and I think that's the message going into 2020. Is the left is this destructive force. It's like a grinding stone almost of destruction and American values. And
can we correlate? Can we easily assume to correlate the 2020 poll indications early on to the 2016 exit polls and during the preliminary polling data that we saw Hillary versus Trump to the polling that we're seeing right now, Biden versus Trump? And I think, in my opinion, and I know you agree, but in my opinion, I think Hillary was a much more formidable candidate than Biden is, even back in 2016, let alone today. I mean, he's not even a shadow of what he was in 2016. Go ahead.
Well, to get a little deeper into that, because I think there's a deeper thought process to the polling thing. So I think back in like December or January, the DNC already figured out that Biden was going to be their guy, their go-to guy. Nobody on that lineup was any good, but he was probably one of the worst ones. He was
the VP.
He was a VP, so they think that they might have had a chance with him, but he was the worst one to market. He's the least marketable person.
Pedophile.
Because he's senile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when they saw that, they needed to make chaos. They needed to create chaos. They couldn't focus on their candidates as much as they needed to focus on getting Trump out of office. So how did they do that? They created this coronavirus bullcrap. Locking these down so they can blame the president on the unemployment numbers, so they can see this country in turmoil. They're causing this because people aren't going to come out to vote for Biden as much as they're going to come out to vote against Trump. So that is more of the issue where they need to get voters. They can't get voters to come out for Biden. So they need to create chaos in order to get Trump out. They don't want to rule over the ashes, so they don't want perpetual rioters. What they're going to do is, this is theoretical because this isn't going to happen, but let's say Biden were to win, right? Let's theoretically, please don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, in another dimension, let's say Biden wins, right? They're going to go ahead. DNC is going to make their call. They're going to call off the dogs, and they're going to be like, we fixed racism, guys. Congratulations, we fixed racism. And then we're not going to see these riots anymore. And all we're going to get from it is more government overreach by the Democrats if Joe Biden gets elected. Obviously, again, they don't want to rule over the ashes. They want to rule over a peaceful society, which is what we are. But all they got to do, they can do it right now if they want. They can call off the dogs. They can go ahead and stop this. They can stop their racism.
In Rahm Emanuel's great words, right? Never let a good crisis go to waste.
And they're not.
And so they've
job.
used the prowess and the muscle of BLM being a communist organization like they are to infuse hatred into the narrative that was George Floyd, which was a disgusting act at that moment by that police officer. But that's a totally different subject. But what I'm getting at is that they used that narrative to then infuse a whole bunch of other things that had nothing to do with the incident itself. Yeah, I mean, they're just this disgusting organization.
Yeah. And at a micro level, we can see what happened with Jussie Smollett of NASCAR. At a micro level, that was a small incident. They're doing that on a larger scale. They're creating these fake hate crimes, which he didn't even apologize for.
Well, he came on. I think it was Tucker the other day something like that.
No, he got on Don Lemon's show.
No. He came on Fox.
He did?
He came on Fox. He came on Tucker. I saw the interview, and I mean, what is he going to say? Yeah, he had to agree with the FBI investigation because the FBI investigation already had come out. So
his thing, he wiped his hands clean. He's like, "Oh, I didn't really see the news," but you didn't see the news, but you were. That same night, you were on major news outlets decrying this news. He is culpable for all that's happened.
So he used a vehicle. Got it. Okay.
He used a vehicle.
Literally and figuratively.
He did.
Literally and figuratively.
Well, he can't even use a vehicle because he can't. He's not even a good driver. He's one of the worst drivers out there.
That sport is not my forte, so I'll stick to politics.
He's one of the worst drivers out there. The next day, he got and this is crazy. I get the unity part. I get the unity part of the message. We should be united. But he got a whole bunch of people. He suckered a whole bunch of people into pushing his car out of pit lane. What's next? Are we going to put this guy at pole position at the front of the races? Because
anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible with NASCAR.
The flags were flying half staff for George Floyd.
I don't fly the Confederate flag
and
at all.
And I'll be honest, Enrique. I mean, I was a veteran. I fought 3 times for this great country of ours, and I would never expect when I die to have the flags fly at half staff. For me, they even extended something that's for police officers and for veterans when they passed away, and they gave a folded flag to his family. Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi has just used
beat up his pregnant wife,
put a gun to a pregnant lady's belly. I mean, how so? But that's nor here nor there. The incident shouldn't have happened by that cop, and it is what it is. But the narrative has just been blown out of proportion, and even different countries are having protests. I mean, I find that
different countries.
Yes, they had protests in Spain and England. I mean, that is crazy.
The globalist agenda at play. This is how they do it.
So
they're pissed off about something. What did they?
So you're saying that it has nothing to do with George Floyd?
Absolutely not. This has never been about.
Wow.
This is George Floyd. They equated George Floyd to Martin Luther King, which is a freaking disgrace. It should never happen. Again, we're going to keep saying it. It should never happen. But just quickly to go back onto the NASCAR thing, I don't fly the Confederate flag just because it's not my heritage or whatnot. But what I am a big proponent of is don't tell Americans what not to do. Don't tell them they can't do something. I feel like going to a NASCAR race, like in a ridiculous Confederate flag costume with the sunglasses, the hat, the shirt, and walk in and see if they're going to deny me service. In their words, a person of color, which is also retarded to call people person of color. They're humans. They use.
Did Jesus see color?
No, Jesus didn't see color.
Right.
Nobody sees color.
He died on the cross only for blacks or only for whites? No, he died for all of us. So
listen, the Democrats, and those that are listening, if there's any Democrats listening, or anybody that's undecided,
we hope
the people of color and the Latin community and all of this, the Democrats are using you as pet mouthpieces, is what they are.
We are children of God.
We don't
period.
We don't call you African American. We don't call you black. We don't call you Latin. We don't call you none of that. We call you our brothers and sisters. That's it. We don't care what color you are, what your race is, what your religion is.
So,
it's not my problem.
So I want to bring it back local, and then we're going to wrap up. And thank you again, Enrique. I know you're very busy. Thank you for giving us some time. But I want to wrap it up locally because there's a few things locally as well that are catching the news stream. I've heard, and I haven't confirmed, but I do, I do find it appalling that on 4th of July, one of the greatest holidays that we have nationwide, our beaches are going to be closed. And so what is your opinion on the lack of freedom on the 4th of July? I think they once said, let freedom ring, but the beaches are closed. Explain that to me in your own words, Enrique.
I'm not
please try to translate something like that for us.
I'm not going to use my own words. Actually, I'm going to use the word of the violent left.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Resist.
Okay.
Who tells you that our beaches are closed?
Okay. Well, the government.
I urge you guys in a big group. I urge you guys to go to the beach this weekend, 4th of July. Enjoy the beach with your family. If somebody tells you that you can't, and somebody tells you that you need a permit or something like that, go ahead, get on. You could go to your local library and get yourself a pocket constitution and show them your permit to be on the beach. There's nobody that can tell you to shut down.
But the government is saying that we cannot be at the beach, Enrique. Well, it's the government.
Yeah. Well, the King of England also told us that we couldn't keep our lands, and how did that work out? Didn't work out very well. So I urge you to go ahead and resist that. Nobody should tell you this. And you know what? I'm going to say it on this stream. Our mayor, which is running for Congress as a Republican, he was a Hillary supporter. He's trashed our president a million times, and he's running for Congress now. And he wants to lock down the city, close businesses, lock us down for 4th of July. Are you crazy? You're not going to win. You're not. You just.
But unfortunately, Enrique, we have a choice in that race, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's actually my district, and I will tell you that the choices are Mayor Jimenez, all right, which is not a very good choice on the Republican side.
Oh yeah,
and an extremely terrible choice by DMP, Debbie Moore-Cristal Powell, which as everybody knows, is a terrorist and has deemed. She has terrorist ties in her family and has deemed, the NRA a terrorist organization. We have video proof of that, and there's proof of her family with $700,000 and all things. So we got to pick the lesser of two evils, and unfortunately, a lot of patriots are not running for office, and so a lot of times in elections, we have the only worst of two choices, or the only best of two worst choices in candidates, and unfortunately, we need to click a button.
You're telling me how do I want to die from getting hit by a bus or getting hit by a truck? I'd rather the truck. I might have more surviving chances, but I'll tell you what. Regardless of whoever wins in that race, I hope it's the truck and not the bus. But regardless of whoever wins in that race, remember that those people are supposed to serve us. They're not above us; they're below us, right? When you choose to be a public servant, that's what you are. That second word is more important than the first one. It's not public; it's a servant. So you know what? Jimenez is a horrible Republican, but he's the only choice that we have right now. So some people are going to have to swallow it. But we're not going to like it. And I guarantee you, if he wins, I'm going to go protest him. Because sometimes what's the saying goes, it's better the devil that I know than the one I don't, right? We know Moore-Cristal Powell is a terrorist. But what's under the hidden door? Who's the Oz behind the curtain? So
hey, don't get me involved.
In that case, that's what it is. But resist, brothers and sisters. Go to the beach, enjoy yourself, bring your barbecue, bring your beer, enjoy. Thank you so much.
Enrique, thank you. This was 5 minutes that turned into 20, but we thank you for your time, and we appreciate all your help today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.